I wanted to share in this session about ideal clients and why it's so important to have an ideal client. You may have more than one ideal client, depending on what your business is, but it's really important to look at this particular aspect of things when it comes to your business. It all links to, are you a generalist or are you a specialist? Now, the general public generally like to go and see an expert. They like to see somebody who really knows what they're doing. When we go to our GP, for example, they always refer us on to somebody else, don't they? There's a specialist in that area. And that's the same in business, that actually you want to be seen by a specialist rather than generalist. Although what you're offering or what you've been trained in could suit all, it actually, from a marketing perspective, works best and to get you more clients and more business to actually really specialise and really niche into a particular area. Now, as individuals, as business owners, sometimes we don't like to be closed down into that aspect. And it doesn't mean that actually if somebody comes to me about fear of flying, I wouldn't help them. Of course I would. But my marketing may not talk about the fact that I work with them about fear of flying. So one thing to be aware of is that in business, we have traditional businesses. So things like double glazing, we have carpet fitters, we have cabinet makers, we have what else we have? We have florists, plumbers, hairdressers, what people know, yeah? So your general public know what they do, yeah? If you're a holistic therapist watching this, do they know what we do? Because we've been trained to work on each person completely individually, okay? Could be young, could be a midlifer, could be an elderly person. So we could be working on their pain, their fatigue, their weight, their phobias, their fears, their anxieties, working all different ways with that person. But actually, from a marketing perspective, people don't know how to refer to you, and that can cause a problem in you getting clients. So what you need to be doing is actually asking yourself whether you're in a traditional business or a non-traditional business like holistic therapies, health and wellbeing. What is it? Who is it that I want to work with? Who is the ideal client for me? Who really suits me? Who really I'm passionate about supporting and helping? But also, and especially this is for the holistic therapists out there, is what journey have you been on that you're empathic to, that you can help others with? So if you've had a journey of weight loss, if you've had a journey of bereavements or journey of abuse, for example, then make your business around that, make your expertise around that particular area. But if you're in traditional business too, you would still want to be a specialist. You want to be specialised in a particular area. So if you're a hairdresser, it might be a bridal hairdresser, because that means you can go networking with a bridal or a wedding network, for example, where you can refer to each other specialists within your chosen field. You want to be looking at who you want to be working with. When you really understand that ideal client, it's much easier to market your business on social media, on podcasts, on finding places to talk about your business, to network, whether that's online or offline networking. It becomes much easier. But the thing is that often we don't like to be penned into one particular aspect. We go, oh, I'm worried about that. I really want to try and explore. But actually, from a marketing perspective, that doesn't work. You need to choose one thing, do that well for at least 18 months and be known for that thing. And then people will start coming to you. You'll start getting those recommendations. Also, if you are a holistic therapist, the word of mouth rate for something like depression or anxiety, stress, etc., erectile dysfunction, for example, is actually only 5% of referrals. So unless people know exactly that that's what you're working on, you won't get the word of mouth work going around, because people are too ashamed or too embarrassed to talk about the issue that they actually have. So therefore, it's important to stand up above parapet and say, this is what I sort out, this is what I'm sorting out for individuals, so that you are very clear with people about what you're doing and why. And people can feel that passion and want to connect with you about that and go, the specialist for that know exactly who that is. Because you can't build your business just by yourself. This is about connecting with other businesses where you can support and grow and collaborate together. Even with a competitor might be working on one aspect of a specialism and you're working on another aspect, and then you can refer to each other still just with the competitor. It's about working together, not apart. So when you're looking at working with your ideal client, once you have that nailed, you then need to look at more detail. So you want to be looking at each service and looking at what is the age range for that particular service or product and that ideal client. What gender does it suit? Where will I find these people? Are they just in a globalized, sort of small area location, or are they a global audience that are available as well? So, for example, if a law changes in the UK, let's say we've got GDPR, the General Data Protection. Well, that was for the UK. That was not for America, Australia, etc. So it can be very location based as well, about where your ideal clients will be, but also about where you want to work as well. It's also about what local attractions your ideal client might visit. It might be what associations they join as well. It's also about what interests and hobbies that your clients will actually be engaging in, because that allows you to target advertising and marketing activities towards those areas too. It's also about where they're networking, where they will connect with people as well, and also what influencers they may follow. So when I say influencers, I mean that it's somebody who's got a large audience that your clients will also be following as well as you. So for example, for myself, whilst I might be giving mindset advice to somebody and guidance about how the mind's working and how they can be manifesting something, somebody who is doing PR, who's also working with heart-based business owners, they would also be a good connection for me. But maybe if they have a large audience and I'll be influencing and chatting to them and saying, well, can I offer value to your audience as well at the same time? You also want to look at what TV programs your ideal client watches, because that might be where you would advertise as well, or how you might engage a conversation with the person about what their favourite is, or when they say they like a particular program, how you could actually start talking to them about that and say the similarity about what you do, etc. It's also radio shows they listen to, and also the magazines and newspapers that they read as well. So as you engage with that ideal client and them understanding that they are the ideal client for you, they will be drawn to your service, they'll be drawn to you. So what you also want to be aware of is when you have a set up your different services and what you're doing and how you're doing it, you want to be looking at where do your clients go before you, at the same time as you, and after you. So if, for example, you are a bridal hairdresser, before the wedding, where does a bride go to get information about the wedding? Well, she might go to a venue, she might go to a wedding planner, she might go to bridal shops for the dress, she might go to find out about Toastmasters, she might go to a gift shop. All those different services, they are businesses that the bride would go to before working with you. So by connecting with those businesses, you may well be able to refer to each other already. At the same time as the wedding taking place, there may be other services that bride is engaging with. There may be a beauty service, for example, that she's engaging with as part of it, or she might need a childcare service, or whatever it is. That's all part and parcel of it. After the wedding, she may want to engage an interior designer to redo her house. She might want to go on honeymoon, so needs a travel agent. She might want to get her dress dry cleaned, needs a specialist dry cleaner. So you can refer your clients on to other businesses as well at that time. And when you get this mechanism of businesses before you at the same time and after you, and you're referring to each other easily, that will bring you more business, that will bring you more work in to work with when you're collaborating with others. Now, some businesses do this naturally anyway. So for example, tradespeople is an example of that. A tradesman will go into a house, the housewife or house husband might start, chatting to the tradesman and go, you know what, I really need this wall plastered. Do you know a plasterer? And they go, oh yeah, I've got a mate who does that. Yeah, absolutely. And they might go next, oh, I need a garden. Do you know a garden? Yeah, no, fantastic garden, landscape garden, this to do this for them. Oh, I need a few things fixed around the house. You know, a handyman. Yeah, no, a handyman, do that service. And sometimes that tradesman does all those things, but then they're being a generalist or the specialist unless they're a big company. So it's about that naturally happens because it's an organic sort of process. But with certain businesses, it doesn't work as well as that. It doesn't, because unless you've got that specialism, it can't work that way. Also, when you know that you have the specialism, so let's say from a health and wellbeing perspective, we've got let's use a weight loss example. Then it means that you can look at what are the if people are putting opportunities out on Facebook, for example, if I need speakers, you may well be able to speak about mindset and weight, about why people might be holding emotional issues as part of it, but you're not actually going to be a competitor for that person at the same time. They may just want some guidance put into their group. So, for example, I'm often asked about money mindset, and I will offer some guidance into a group because obviously from a sales perspective, that may well sell my book, but people won't necessarily understand the full extent of what I offer. But I will offer a talk about money mindset because I've got a book and product alongside that. So you want to look very carefully about your journey, about what you're creating in your business, as well as alongside the ideal client who's going to suit that particular business. It also goes much deeper into what is your life purpose and what you're here for. So we can have a very, it can be such an awakening to become a therapist. It's so exciting and everything. And you can go, I'll try this and I'll try that, and end up on such the wrong route about where you're going and really not helping the big enough audience. It's also about growing your audience of your ideal clients as well, whether that is through a podcast, whether that is through a Facebook following or Twitter following, Instagram. You don't want to be reliant on just one following either. You want to be people, organically working with you, whether that's, you've written a book and they've bought into that book, because also one platform could close down, for example. Facebook can just close your account straight away if they deem it necessary or suspend you. So if that's the case, then that means that actually you could lose your whole following straight away. So it is about having a strategy of how you share content online. And I talk about in my book, Are You Worth It? And will be the next book, Awaken the Vision Within, about having a wisdom system. And this is so important, especially for the non-traditional business, to educate their audience about why they need to know something about what they're doing. So a wisdom system would be where you pick a word. I've got the visionary system. Vision actually stands for, and work with people about being visionary, intuitive, spiritual, influencers, oracles, and networkers. And within my book, Are You Worth It?, I expand what I mean by that. But in the book, Awaken the Vision Within, I expand that even further, going into why my ideal clients need to understand about being a visionary within their business, being intuitive and understand that intuitive skill, understanding about spirituality and using spiritual techniques to support them, influencing through their wisdom, influencing others, influencing through love as well, and being oracles and sharing their wisdom, whether that's sharing it by video, sharing it by Facebook Live, sharing it by a book or oracle cards, etc. And finally, through at the end of networking, connecting with others and bringing people together. That is so important. So, and through their business and maintaining those connections through their business and their personal life as well, because your business and your personal life are very interlinked. Absolutely. So do consider, do you have an ideal client, or are you trying to scattergun to everybody, trying to meet everybody's needs in your business? The more that you actually gain that specialism and understand who it is that you're here to serve, the easier you'll find it. You won't waste money on your branding, your business cards, your website, etc. Because what you'll find is if you don't do that and you're trying to hit all bases, you will waste money along the process. If you do the internal work, first of all, working out what your life purpose is, who you're here to serve, who it's going to be, do the planning on paper about who you want to be, how you want things to evolve over a period of time, you can then plan it properly and understand what sort of audiences need to come alongside, what opportunities you need to seek out for yourself along the way, and it will make it easier, a much easier journey for you, and you'll make more money and be able to give more money back and be able to serve more people and empower more people through the process. So I wish you well in identifying your ideal clients, and it's a journey to find out who they are. But if you are a therapist or wellbeing practitioner, then please do go within and ask yourself, what have I been through that would serve and help others? Because that's always the clue, because it's what you're empathic about, and how you know to do things better in a different way. And that'll help serve you so much more and your clients by understanding that and you putting that within your marketing and serving more people through your business. So good luck.